Hey everybody, welcome back. It is February favorites time, so I have a bunch of stuff to get through, so let's dive in. Now the first thing I want to talk about, I'm going to ramble a little bit at the beginning here, so feel free to skip ahead if you want to just hear about products. So this is going to lead into a product, this product specifically from the brand Skinfix. This is the Moisture Boost Serum. So to back it up a little bit, I have, for as long as I can remember, really loved sharks for whatever reason. And I have been quite passionate about shark conservation, marine conservation, that sort of thing. When I was browsing the drugstore, I found this product on sale and I'm like, ooh, let's check this out. And they had all kinds of great ingredients in it. It was cruelty-free, a lot of cool stuff. But pretty high up on the ingredients list was squalene, which is an ingredient that you can either get from plants, I believe olives, or from the livers of sharks. Lots of sharks are endangered. It's a big mess. And if you are interested, or even if you're not, I highly recommend checking out a documentary called Shark Water. It's awesome. It kind of lays out what's going on and also has really beautiful, it's a beautiful documentary. Lots of really great cinematography. The man who made that movie, Rob Stewart, unfortunately, at the very beginning of the month, passed away while filming the second installment of the Shark Water documentary series, which was really, really sad. Bummed me out a lot. And I still get a little weirdly emotional about it, even though I never knew him. But I highly recommend checking Shark Water out. And Shark Water 2, a lot of what they were focusing on in that film, which I think they decided to go ahead and finish it in honor of Rob, which is really exciting. A lot of what they were talking about is ingredients like squalene in cosmetics and skincare. So when I saw squalene, I was like, ooh, shit, that's either fine or really not good. So I emailed Skinfix and asked where they get their squalene, and they said that all of their ingredients are plant-based. They use some beeswax. That's really the only animal ingredient that they have in their products. So I went ahead and bought this, and I am loving it. My skin is loving it. I get hormonal breakouts in this nice little goatee, really, of acne around my chin. But otherwise, my skin has been really, really happy. It hasn't been so dry. It hasn't been flaky. And even as this breakout has been healing, you know how sometimes that skin can get really, really dry and flaky. This has been a skin fixer. So I am excited to try more stuff from this brand. I'm really liking it. It is a little bit fragranced, but the fragrance is like the last ingredient. It's quite a lotiony, creamy texture. It's quite lightweight, actually. It smells a little bit like cucumber. It has that kind of fresh cucumber scent, which is actually quite nice, I have to say. I would prefer, I don't really like fragrance in skincare, but it does smell good. But my skin, it hasn't broken my skin out, so I'm really liking that. And yes, please go watch Shark Water. That's my preaching for today. Okay, moving on. While we're on the subject of skin, let's talk about this e.l.f. Aqua Primer Mist. This, well, it says primer mist, and I think the idea is that you can use this as a primer. That's not really why I got it. Kind of along the lines of trying to find hydrating things for my skin that all of a sudden decided to be super dry. This is why I got this. Words. They'd be good. So this has some great hydrating ingredients. It has a variation of hyaluronic acid in it. It's got some vitamin C. It's got some niacinamide. So it's got some really great skin care ingredients. So I will usually spritz this on before my foundation, not necessarily as a primer, but just as some extra hydration and extra skin benefit goodness, if you will. The packaging is super cute. I love the New Elf packaging. I think I've said that before. The mist is quite nice. See, it's very even. I usually don't spray this on my face when I have makeup on because I don't think those good skincare ingredients can get through the makeup, although please let me know if I'm wrong about that, in which case I will use this up a lot quicker. It feels really nice and cooling. Doesn't smell like anything. I will either just let it dry or I'll give it a little massage into the skin. And it's very nice. It's a nice, light, extra boost. So I think this will be really nice in the summer as well. While we're talking about e.l.f., I have finally repurchased an e.l.f. exfoliating lip stick thing. I got one of the newer ones. This is Mint Maniac. It does smell quite nice. It smells like real mint. It doesn't smell like mint gum or something like that. It smells quite herby because mint is an herb. It smells really nice. And as I suspected, the little granules in here are much finer than in the original exfoliating stick. So if you didn't like the original because maybe it was too harsh, you might want to try this. I don't know if you'll be able to see. The one drawback I find with that, however, is I find these granules to be much more difficult to clean off of my lips. Probably just because I'm lazy and I just want to wipe them off with a finger. But otherwise, really enjoying this. One more skin focus thing. I've finally tried some Soap and Glory. This is the Righteous Butter. It's a body butter, a body moisturizing formula so virtuous you might swear you're wearing velvet. The marketing on these are so silly, but I really like this. It smells so good. It's this very thick, obviously, cream. It blends into the skin really well. It doesn't feel greasy or sticky, but it also lasts. Not only does the moisture last, but the smell lasts in a nice way. I've tried some other body butters. The ones popping to mind are the Trader Joe's body butters, like the coconut one. Smells amazing to me at first, and then it is so nauseating I can't use it anymore. This should be nauseating, quite frankly. It's the kind of smell that I shouldn't like, but I really do. It's quite sweet, but it's also very clean. I don't know. It's very nice, and I've been enjoying this. Anytime I've just really been enjoying it. That's all I have to say. It's great stuff. If I had to pick one and only one favorite for the month of February, it would be this. Ooh. This is the Seche Vite Dry Fast Top Coat. I have it on my nails today over top of Heat Wave by Wet n Wild, which is one of their Mega Last nail polishes. It's a little bit more pink than it's showing up. It looks quite orange on camera. It's a little bit more pink than that. And we were just in a heat wave. I'm in Rhode Island in February. It should be cold, and 2 days ago it was 70 degrees. So I figured this was an appropriate nail color. Not only is this beautiful and shiny, so shiny, the way it works makes this my favorite product ever, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to try it. I have the bad habit of painting my nails like before bed in the evening. It's a calming thing, maybe. I don't know. But that's usually when I paint my nails. And so more often than not, I will wake up the next day with sheet imprints on my nails. This stops that from happening. You put this on wet nails and it dries them. It's great. Add a little bit of a learning curve with it, especially if I have a design on my nails. But what I have found for me to work best is, just bottom coat, whatever. When I get to the final layer of nail polish, I'll paint one hand and then go back over with a Seche Vite, and then same thing on the other side. And that seems to dry the nail polish down just enough so it doesn't drag, but it's still wet. So this still works. My only complaint, honestly, is that it works really well, and I tend to be quite ADD with my nail polish, and I like to change it up all the time. And this keeps it looking fine, and like I don't really need to change it for days, people, days. Next up is this Wet n Wild makeup remover. They call it a micellar cleanser. It's duo phase. You can see kind of an oily solution on top, watery solution on bottom. You shake it up. My favorite thing about this, besides how well it works, of course, is this applicator. I'm not going to do it now because it'll spray shit everywhere, but you put a cotton pad down and you press it, and I don't know. It's just fun. It's stupid, but it's fun. Doesn't smell like anything. It doesn't irritate my eyes. If I'm wearing anything more than just maybe mascara, which my cleansers will take off, the Sonia Kashuk Dissolve, I'm still using that. If I have anything more on than that, I've been using this for the whole month of February. And, it's a tiny bottle, but that's not bad for a month, I guess. I'm hoping that they will bring out a bigger version if this sells well. It is, obviously cruelty-free. It's also vegan, and it's great. One thing that was kind of meh for me this month is this powder from NYX. This is the NYX No Filter Finishing Powder. I have it in the shade Porcelain. I am wearing it today, along with other stuff that I'll talk about in a second. The reason that it's meh, this is a really nice powder. It's fine, but I just feel like it doesn't do anything different than my coverall powder from Wet n Wild, and this is like $10 more expensive. Which, granted, isn't that much, but it's also kind of a lot for products to do pretty much the same thing. This is a little bit, if I were to be very nitpicky, I think this is a little bit more satiny than the coverall powder, but I've actually done like a half and half experiment where I set half of my face with the NYX powder and half with the coverall, and I didn't notice a goddamn difference. It's very fine, very soft. I don't know if you can see that little bit of a sheen, although maybe that's just the oil in my fingertip. That's a possibility. My hand looks so shiny, so moisturized now. But yeah, like I said, it's a fine powder, but I just feel like you don't have to spend $14 or $13 or whatever this was for this kind of powder. While we're on the meh/disappointing train, let's talk about some brow products. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I've done a full review. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. I have it in the shade Taupe. You could see my video on this, hear my thoughts. I'll link it below, and if I can figure out the card things, I'll put them on. Although I never click on those. Do you ever click on those? I don't. Anyway, because this really is not great for my particular brows, I bought this Jordana Quick Brow Micro Pencil to help out, and it's terrible. I don't like it at all. I find that, well, what I got it for was to draw in brow hair where I don't have any, because there are spots where I don't have any. And it doesn't do a very good job of that. It either is it's not, it swatches out fine. It's not too soft where it's on a swatch. I don't know if that's translating at all. But I find in practice on the brows, it both does not layer very well. So I have this very similar problem as I do with the brow definer. It has a tendency to go on quite stark, but also it doesn't blend over itself very well. It kind of rubs itself away. You know how if you're using a dry erase board and you try to go over a dry erase marker and it just kind of almost erases itself? I feel like this does the same thing. So I'm really not a fan of it. It doesn't last very well. It's not great. It's not great. All right, the last few things are all things that I've been enjoying. Also things, for the most part, except one, I'm lying, have specific videos of their own, which again, I will link below if you want more information. I'm going to try not to blab on too much since I've done enough of that already. The first is the NYX Total Control Cover Drop Foundation. I have it in the shade Vanilla. Really like it. You can see my full review linked below. I've been enjoying this a lot this month, and I actually just discovered today, what I'm wearing on my face today is this mixed with the Photo Focus foundation from Wet n Wild. I have this in the shade Nude Ivory, which is just a tad pink, and if you've watched other videos of mine, you've probably heard me say that while this is a nice foundation, I don't like how it sits on the skin. It sits on it. It's quite obvious looking. And I just discovered that mixing these two brings out the best of both, because this sits really nice on the skin and this is a much better color match for me. I mean, they're very close, you know, but this is a little bit better. And mixed together, let's see. Let me get on up here, folks. Whoo, I'm shiny. Hello. Mixed together, it just sits really nicely on the skin. Blends in really well. Good coverage. You get the coverage and the kind of, I think that this is a much kind of creamier look to the skin, if that makes sense. This is quite thin and dries down matte, so it's almost a little dry, which if you have oily skin is great. Even with my kind of drier skin issues, unless I had flaky texture, this was fine on top of that. Not the flaky texture, it was just fine on dry skin, but it has a drier look to the skin, and this has kind of a creamier look, if that makes sense. So you get the kind of creaminess and the coverage of this foundation with the really, the beautiful way this sits on the skin, slash, it tones this one down a little bit. So this is less heavy. It's just, these two combined, I think, might be my new favorite foundation. I don't know. Is it worth it to get both of them? Maybe, actually. Actually, these, if you bought both of these together, it would be cheaper than most higher-end foundations, so it might be. But I've really been enjoying that, and I think you will hear me talk about that combo in March favorites if this lasts on my face well. So this highlighter, by the way, is the highlighting powder from Wet n Wild in Precious Petals. This was originally in their summer 2016 limited edition collection. I never got to try it because it's sold out because it was hyped to the moon. It's a beautiful powder, beautiful highlighter, as you can see. Beautiful packaging. Well, maybe not packaging. It's quite, you know, it's sleek, it's nice, it's fine, but the actual pan is really beautiful. I also, actually, I don't just have this on my cheeks, I'm wearing it as my eyeshadow today, which I've been enjoying, just slapping on, well, dabbing lovingly, a little bit of this on my eyelid. I almost said eyebrow, wrong thing. Eyelid with some mascara, and that's been my look a lot of days this month. Really nice. This is permanent now. I don't think I mentioned that. They made it permanent because people were like freaking out that they couldn't get a hold of it and it was so good. So when a limited edition product is that good, chances are it'll be back. So let this be a lesson to you if, like me, you can get a little caught up in the, oh my God, limited edition, I gotta get it now. So yeah, might come back. It's really good. Last thing, I will have a more in-depth review / demo video of this either up now or up soon, but figured I'd mention them. These are some makeup sticks from Wet n Wild. These are the MegaGlo makeup sticks. They have 3 contour, 3 blushes, 1 shimmery highlight, and 3 concealer sticks. I haven't tried the concealer sticks, but I have 1 each of the contour, the shimmery highlight, and a blush. Swatch these out for you. I am wearing all of, except the highlighter, have the other one on. I have the contour and blush on my face today. So there you can see them swatched out on my hand. Now, I never anticipated using this as a contour. I actually looked for a slightly warmer shade to use as a bronzer. So this is the contour shade in Call Me Maple. This blush is a really pretty kind of neutral pink. It's called Floral Majority. Whoop. And the shimmery highlight is called When the Nude Strikes. They're all 3, I really enjoy them. I think the bronzer would probably be my favorite out of them if I had to choose. It's so nice. I love the color. I think it looks really natural. It blends like a dream. Not just, I got it originally because for a lot of the month, I was playing with a less foundation look, so I would use the NYX foundation just on areas where I have some redness, like my nose and around here, a little on my chin. And I would leave the rest of my skin just out in the open because I had a good skin month. So I figured some cream products would be nice to put over just my bare skin. And they are quite nice on bare skin, but they actually work a little bit better on top of foundation. Now, I don't set the foundation with powder. I will do my foundation and then the bronzer and blush and highlighter if I'm using them, and then kind of set all of that with powder. And they're beautiful. Again, we'll have a video either now or soon where you can kind of see them in action. And you can see them on my face right now. Do you have any other favorites of the month? I've really been enjoying the Beauty News YouTube channel. Not only Beauty News, but both Haley and Kat's separate channels as well. I'll link those below. If you don't mind swearing, which they do a lot, which I don't mind. They're Australian. They're fantastic. I really have been enjoying those channels. And I also will recommend for any Netflix subscribers, right? On Netflix, I just discovered this was on there. There is a series called Last Chance to See, since I'm apparently doing a conservation episode today. Besides Sharkwater, which I, again, definitely recommend you check out on Netflix. But Last Chance to See, if anybody's familiar with Douglas Adams, who wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series and a lot of other books, he also wrote a book called Last Chance to See, where he traveled around the world with a biologist, finding endangered species and kind of seeing what was up with them and why are they endangered and, you know, how can we save them and all of this sort of thing. It's a really great book. I highly recommend checking that out if you are a reader or a listener. The audiobook is awesome. And obviously Douglas Adams had passed away many years ago, and so Stephen Fry, who doesn't love Stephen Fry, I don't want to be friends. No, I'm kidding. But Stephen Fry, who I love, was friends with Douglas Adams and travels around with the biologist. And they did a series where they kind of go and check in with the animals that Douglas wrote about in the book. And it's fantastic. It's very entertaining and beautiful scenery. And I just love any kind of nature documentary thing anyway. And if you have Stephen Fry involved, it's even better. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And then I think the last thing that I've really been enjoying this month, or I enjoyed for the first 3 days because I inhaled them, Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if any of you watched that when you were younger, but Amazon Prime has 2 seasons of the original Robert Stack Unsolved Mysteries series with the great theme music, and it's fantastic. I highly recommend checking those out if that's your thing. So good. But that's all I have to say. This is already a super long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know what you've been loving this month. Please leave that in the comments below or share with me your February favorites videos if you also make videos. Share them below. Let's share the love, folks. So that is it from me. I will see y'all in the next one. Please feel free to subscribe if you dug this video. And yes, have a wonderful day. And I will see you in the next one.